All right, so between June 11th and June 13th, 2025, petrol and diesel prices has jumped up across Nigeria. Some by over even 14%. So why is this? What's happening? Why? We are told it's because of the global crude oil prices spike. After Israel bombed Iran military's targets, and of course Iran had to retaliate. This has caused tensions in the oil markets, especially around the, a major oil transport route, Hormuz. It sounds global, right? But here's the thing. Why is Nigeria? I always try to think about this. Why is Nigeria, an oil-producing nation, still suffering from oil surges? So why is Nigeria, an oil-producing nation, still suffering from oil price surges? It still blows my mind. It still blows my imagination. Nigeria is one of the top oil producers in Africa. You can imagine that in the whole of Africa, we have Nigeria as one of the top oil producers in Africa. With the Dangote refinery still functioning, it is now functioning. So why do the global shock still hit Nigeria this hard? Why are they always trying to find a reason to hike prices? Could it be the case that they're just trying to find a reason? Of course, we know the tensions that is happening in Iran, which is just around, which is causing tensions in the oil markets, especially around that Hormuz, the Straits of Hormuz, a major oil transport route, if we're aware of that. So my question is, why does the global shock still have to hit Nigeria? Why? We produce the oil, we refine the oil. So why is it that when such hits are happening, they claim that it's okay because of this is why it happened? But this is actually the truth. One of the reasons why this happens, where Nigeria is suffering from these oil price surges, the truth is that we are still not refining enough fuel locally. And most products are still priced as if they are imported, because people are making a lot of money from the sufferings of the typical Nigerian. People are making a lot of money from it. A lot of oil, we know that a lot of fuel is not refined. A good amount of fuel is not refined locally as it should be. Most of them still send it out, but upon that, most of the product they still price it as if they are the ones that even managed to be refined here. They still price it as if they are imported. So many small tension abroad causes a ripple here, even if the oil is drilled in our backyard. So the question is this really a price increase, or is just an excuse? NIPCO went from 960 naira to 1,100 naira, almost like a 14.6% increase. Dangote diesel went from 915 naira to 955 naira. So the truth is, right now the market seems very open. Everybody just adjust prices as much as they like. There's almost like no regulation. The Ipman says Dangote should sell products for below 825 naira, but Dangote is now pushing to price above even 840 naira. In some cases, the government is even largely silent. There's no fuel subsidy anymore to caution that effect. Of course, this makes now the transition of this means that the fuel market is now a game of survival of the richest, and the consumers, of course, are the ones at the loss, and we are all quiet. In fact, the whole fuel matter has become more like the more fuel you have, the more influential you have, the more, I don't know, the mentality of Nigerians is just quite weird. Just quite weird. We're not patriotic. There's no togetherness. I wouldn't know what causes this. If it's religion, if it's, I don't know. We are happy to have different classes. We like it. We don't want people to come up to where we are. If we, let's say, the ones that are doing well don't want others to come up to where they are. The wealth gap is just very, entertaining to watch for a lot of people. Imagine, what does this mean for a lot of people? For women, if you drive a car, run a business, or use a generator, which of course most Nigerians do, expect high fuel prices at the pump in the coming weeks. That's just the truth. Prices will rise fast. If the Middle Eastern crisis continues, because let's not forget, there's no actual reason why it should affect us. There's no actual reason. But of course, they will try to pick up this as an excuse. And another thing, if Dangote, who's supposed to stabilize the market, is increasing prices this early, then what happens next? To others, what happens next? So we were promised that with the Dangote refinery running, fuel prices will go down and Nigerians will stop importing fuel. But here's what is still going on. We are still dancing to the tune of international markets. What's the problem? It's either we're not refining enough, or the local pricing model is being manipulated under the covers of global crisis. Either we ordinary Nigerians are still paying for these things. Nobody is complaining, nobody is protesting. We're all very, relaxed about this. Maybe because it just spiked up by a little percentage where we're not really feeling the effect. But think about it, how the country has come to almost, an increase of almost 200% in how many years of Tinubu's presidency. It's a shame. It's a shame because in the next few years now, we're talking about 2000 something. It sounds unbelievable. But just like it was previously, where even 400 naira fuel was unheard of. Now we're talking about 800 naira fuel. So that's the sad situation the country is diving into. Anyways, this is my report about the current fuel situation. And I hope that it wouldn't get worse than this. But we all know the country we live in, and people try to capitalize on a lot of situations to make money out of people. It's so sad.